Hello Internet, I am the hero of Julios once again with another One Piece chapter summary. If I sound a little under the weather this week, it's because I am. But that's okay because the glorious author of One Piece, Oda, must have known I was sick, so he decided to bless us all with not one, but two Robin chapters in a row. But without further ado, let's get into the chapter itself. This week's chapter is chapter 1021, Demonio. So the art for this week's chapter is Frankie and Senor Pink sharing a drink together. You can see the two of them crying, and they're they're probably talking about Rusien, which I like to think that this is a canonical event that after the events of One Piece are over, Frankie will eventually travel to Dressrosa and meet up with Senor Pink, and the two of them will share a drink, and he'll finally tell her that story, and then this is exactly how the two of them will respond, crying, the bartender's crying, I'm sure any other patron in the bar will be crying as well. But I really like this art. This is one of the cooler fan requests I've seen. Not the other ones haven't been fun to look at, but this one in particular felt almost like a non-canon yet still canonical kind of extra thing that happened. The chapter itself is much less tearjerker and more of just raw fighting. Oda's drawn pretty good fight scenes, but this has been one of the more brutal fights I've seen, and it's Robin. To be fair, we haven't really seen Robin fight since, I would say, Skypia was her last real one-on-one fight. I mean, technically, you can count that one guy from the Fishman Pirates, but was that really a fight for any Straw Hat at all? So the fight starts off where we left off, with Robin sprouting her giant form of herself with a whole bunch of, arms sprouting everywhere, and Black Maria, basically taunting her about it, saying, a bigger body just makes a bigger target. She hits Robin and notices that if you hit the big one, it hits the small one. So this is more of giving Robin a disadvantage than it does give Black Maria. But what's interesting about this is we see a showcase of all of Black Maria's different abilities, such as her poison-tipped legs. She can shoot web from her fingertips. That same webbing is flammable. Not to mention, she herself just carries a big pair of brass knuckles, the same we saw her, hitting Sanji with. Only she claims herself that she doesn't have to hold back because now she's fighting a woman. I don't know if Oda just really wanted us to show Robin in a serious fight because it's been so long, or if Oda just had some brutality to get out of his system. But this was one of the more intense fights that I have seen in a bit, aside from Luffy and Zoro's fights. Of course, during this entire fight, Black Maria continues to insult Sanji's name, telling Robin how, she's foolish to put her trust into other people since the whole world is against her and eventually people are just going to throw her away. However, as Brooke tells her not to talk so much, that maybe she should, pipe down a little. And Robin, we already know Robin's unfazed by this. She got over it during Ennis Lobby with, the whole, oh, you're nothing, they're going to throw you away. She knows that's not going to happen anymore. And this basically is Robin's shining moment. But during this fight, Robin actually has a flashback to some of her pre-time skip days with Koala and Sabo and the rest of the Revolutionary Army. I really like moments like this, like we saw with Zoro learning how to use Haki with Mihawk, or Sanji remembering all the running he did in Kamabaka Queendom. It's always cool to see this kind of thing. I kind of hope Oda maybe dedicates more time to every Straw Hat's flashbacks. I would like to learn more about exactly what they did during these 2 years. But during this flashback, Koala and Sabo are teaching her basically, basic self-defense. With this, though, Koala actually teaches Robin some fishman karate, which I think is really cool because not only does this, give Robin more attacks she can do, but this sort of furthers at least her part of the bond with Jimbei as a member of the crew. So now you got two members of the crew who know Fishman karate. That's another thing they can bond on, with also the two of them being the most mature members of the Straw Hat crew. But with this Fishman karate technique, Robin does not actually strike Black Maria. She actually strikes the ceiling of the room they're in, causing the rubble and debris to take out all the fire. Then, while Black Maria is distracted, Robin creates another giant version of herself, only this time it's demonic. And I mean like fangs, wings, evil look in her eye. And Robin admits that she is willing to become the demon child if it means helping her crew. This is kind of like Chopper accepting, I'm going to be a monster if it means I can help Luffy. This demonic form, though, she grabs Black Maria and just breaks her over her leg. The only thing that really throws me off about this demonic form of Robin is the way Oda drew it. It looks, I can't tell if it's either lighting or if it's hardening. Um, does this mean Robin knows hockey and just hasn't shown it to us yet, or is it just the lighting, the demonic presence? I like to lean towards the demonic presence because aside from Usopp, pretty much every Straw Hat who could use hockey, the Monster Trio and Jinbei, have showcased the ability to use it kind of casually rather than just waiting until some epic moment to do so. So my opinion is I think this is just lighting. Robin doesn't know hockey. This is just a really powerful, dark, moody looking moment. But with that, Brook finishes off all of Black Maria's minions as they're, too busy gawking at their master being defeated to actually pay attention to the Skeleton Man. And Brook manages to get back to Robin and starts tending to her because, as Robin states near the end, that took a lot out of her. The final part of this chapter ends with Caribou and his method of helping Luffy. Fortunately for us, this isn't, some detrimental thing. This isn't him being, snide or, manipulative. He's just been storing a ton of food inside of himself thanks to the Swamp fruit and is now giving it all to Luffy so that he can regain the energy needed to take out Kaido. This isn't as important as the other conversation going on, where Shinobu is trying to convince Momonosuke not to go back up there. Momonosuke, however, has other plans. In order to fully control his draconic form to become a big enough dragon to help Luffy fly back up there, he actually asks Shinobu to use the power of her ripe fruit to turn him into an adult. I don't know how I feel about it. I mean, technically, the ripe fruit does work on organic material. We've seen it, we've seen her use it on wood to, push through. We've seen her use it on dirt to create sinkholes. And we know age manipulation is definitely a devil fruit ability, thanks to Jewelry Bonnie, who can move up and down. But this would leave Momonosuke in a permanent adult state. Unless Jewelry Bonnie does turn out to be a good person, then maybe through some manipulation we could bring her back to Wano and get her to change Momonosuke back to his proper age. And I don't know. But this is a pretty huge decision that the kid's making, and that seems to be a big theme for Momonosuke, is this little 8-year-old having to make all these adult decisions really fast. That's a lot to ask for a kid, and it's a lot for him to be asking himself. I'm interested to see where this goes in the next chapter, although we're going to have to wait a little extra because I believe we do not have a chapter next week. Regardless, I hope I'm feeling better by the next chapter, because it's really hard to get my thoughts in order right now with the way my foggy mind is going. Thank you for watching anyways, though, and I will see you in the next video. This is the Hero of Julios, Xing out.